Hi there. Welcome to. I shouldn't have been eating when I came here. Welcome to the Twitch channel. Something's askew over at YouTube, as if it's just shimmying and shimmying and shimmying and giving me more reasons to be over here. And yes, I see that phone. I'll do it. Welcome to the channel, show, what have you. Did I title it right? The title should be "Judge Me," which I need one of those signs to put on my Patreon, Twitter, whatever, that they have at like these job sites where there's accidents and 426 days since we had an accident. Because I need one that just says this many days since drama, and it's 0. We're back at 0. So, with my educated guess and critique come into question, I think there's only one thing I could do to. Listen. I don't think there's evening a playing field as far as anybody is concerned, but I thought maybe at least I can put something out there. If anybody would like to do the same on my end. Those of you who know me know I am a comedian, a professional comedian, a comedian for over 20 years now. And I could not find, I mean, it's not like I can't, not like I won't. There are tapes, there's recordings of me from way back that, perhaps I'm not too proud of. The issue is they're on tapes. Since maybe 12 years ago, anything I've done that's on a hard drive is either there or, I've moved house quite a few times, and in those moves, I've lost a lot of footage, but the big what if and where is everything is tapes. So tapes of old stand-up footage. There is stand-up footage on my YouTube channel if you would like to do that. If I'm sorry, did I not get to the point here? I encourage anybody to I mean, shit, I guess this goes for anything I've done that I've put out on the internet. In a creative light, feel free to do a live reaction, a critique, a review, both, all of the above. And if you want to share it with me, cool. If not, okay, that's okay too. I understand how critique works. Like I said, I've been doing stand-up for 20 years, which certainly implies quite a bit of experience. Hey Ben, thanks for joining me over here. YouTube's not letting me stream right now, so maybe they know, and they're trying to save me. But there are things that you learn with trial and error, and over the course of doing things a certain amount of times. I feel like I've told this story one time. Hi Dice, thanks for hosting my stream again. Hello Luke, Razor man. I feel like I've said this many times, but this is a true story in regards to my stand-up career. The first time I did stand-up ever, like 2/3 of the audience was people that were there for me, and it was a good show. And it was only a good show because of crowd reaction, and looking back, I didn't want that reaction. I appreciate support, but laughing at something that isn't funny, it doesn't do me any good, especially in comedy. Comedy is a constantly working situation where you're writing stuff, testing it in front of audiences, seeing what works, and some stuff does, some stuff doesn't, and like that's on a nightly basis, and you just have to figure out what fits where and what works on a normal basis. It's a lot different than film, and this is why I give ouch. Oh, I'm all over the place. This is why I give filmmakers a hell of a lot more credit than comedians, because at some point you're giving up your creation for people to judge and say, here you go. Want to become famous? Buy followers, primes, and viewers on followinbot.com. Can you just follow me and then I'll think about it? Shock Zoo. I'll think about it. I'll genuinely think about it. But I just need some sort of incentive. I need to know that you're serious. So please, show me you're for real and follow, and then we can get the ball rolling on me being famous and buying followers, primes, and viewers. I'm waiting. So the difference between stand up and filmmaking is stand up. If something doesn't work, you can fix it. That's something that it's another thing I can't stand about people watching my stand up performances. So there's something that's quite candid and should let you know where to target if you must. Stand up is stuff that I really get anxious about and can't stand, that there's nothing I can do about it with the footage because it's out there. And usually in the moment when a crowd's reacting a certain way, at least I know a direction I want to go in. And if it's just a video, I just have to sit there and take where the journey is going. Like if a stand-up crowd, if you're live for 50 people and they're not having a good time and they're being quiet, you can pivot and react and try to work on things and try to salvage that performance. A video, if a video is playing for 50 people and they're just stone-faced, you have no control over where the video is going, and if people aren't having a good time, they're not going to have a good time. So again, this is where I respect filmmakers infinitely, because you have to let it go at some point. And comedy, you technically don't. Technically, your last performance is your second last, because you're always thinking about, all right, let me fix this and do that. And there's still hope for anything you have in your arsenal. There's hope to tweak it. But I do have a technically. So I do have a film school education that isn't stepped in shit again, huh? Apparently, I think I was dragged in shit this time. If I'm being as so bold as possible, I was brought a fan film, and I've reacted to a bunch of fan films, and never have I ever had to deal with backlash for my critique and things like that. So that's what we're going to do here. This is an invitation. I have secured footage from something that I have written, directed, and created, and I will play it for you in a moment. And I encourage you to do a live reaction. If you want to step away and, or record this and whatever, by all means do that. It's only fair. I want that to be crystal clear to people that just because I critique things, I don't think that I'm flawless by any stretch. Um, so this is my olive branch. Here's something that I created. I will give you as much context as I had in anything I've watched as far as fan films is concerned, and that is none. You'll have no context, and you can judge it based on that. Again, only fair. So if you want to do a live reaction, go ahead. If you want to, react in the chat, it's less effective. But for those that those that feel I'm too high and mighty and prickish and hard on things, I don't mean to offend people. I genuinely don't. I don't know if I told you this yet. My second performance when I did stand up was people left. People walked out during my set, and that sucked. That absolutely sucked. And then my third performance, there was a standing ovation. So my first show was fake, just because people were there to show support, and you just can't really judge the material. My second show, people left on me, and I think by the time I finished, there was like 5 people left. And my third show, there was a standing ovation, and I had 2 people in the audience. So like, if you go and say, well, maybe just had support again. But I need to make it clear, and I know that I'm different. Certainly people can be different than this, but I've learned more from the people walking away experience. The standing ovation feels great, and I agree. It's fantastic, and you should experience that if you're creating something. But if you're creating something just to let me try this. Perhaps it isn't fair to judge something. A hobby shouldn't be judged. But if you're creating something and putting it out there for the world to see, I would hope that critique would help creating more stuff in the future. Yeah. Like I said last night, it was unfiltered reaction, not a review where you can gather your thoughts properly. Are you Zachary Haith? I don't know who you are, Gamer Cannibal Corpse. I don't know who you are on YouTube. It was. Yeah. Okay. Good. Thank you. Now I have that edit in my head. Yeah, I saw stuff you were saying last night, and you were there for the event in question, and the director, filmmaker, who has completed 2 films now, which is more than I've ever done with my waste of money film school education, and it needs to be stressed that is absolutely saying a ton more than anything I've done in film. Just finishing a movie is something to be applauded for, something to be encouraged for. Again, I didn't do it, so you have every right to say, well, who the fuck are you to judge? You have nothing to show for your thousands of dollars wasted. But I do have footage. I do have footage here that, again, wrote, directed, a creation from 2000, either 13 or 14, and be brutal, be honest, but if you're going to sugarcoat, I don't want to hear it. I guess, like, this is stuff that has been on my hard drive for a while. It's kind of laid dormant for years. So you can't really, affect too much. Although, unless, of course, you want to see something come of this video, then it's going to be hard because it's old. It's an older video. So Again, if you'd like to film a reaction and just be brutal during it, that's cool. I don't blame people who want to, but this is the best thing I can say. It's an older video, but it still checks out. Yeah. I hope, at the very least, this shows my intent that I'm no different. I'm not above anybody. And again, this is you have no. I'll give you context afterwards. There's no context about this clip. After I play it, I will fill you in on the footage. It is about 6.5 minutes, and yeah. So, without further ado, enjoy.
Hey, it's afternoons like this make you feel privileged to work with people.
Skip, when you work here, any day makes you feel privileged.
That is the attitude. Where is your badge, young lady?
Oh, well, we aren't clocked in yet, so I wasn't going to put it on until I started for the day.
When you're in the building, you're flying the Jug's flag, you're in uniform, clock or no. We are a destination, and you two great ladies are the mascots that the folks come to see.
I honestly feel like waitresses in casinos are more like mascots than we are.
Well, what makes you say that?
I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just the ones that I've been to, but it feels like casino waitresses have a full-bore uniform. Like, from the high heels, to the dark stockings, to the shimmering mini skirts, to the boobs on a shelf, all the way to the cocktail hat. It's like they're Rockettes with trays.
So you don't believe you're in a full-bore uniform?
No, not really. Sir, with all due respect, we're wearing skanky tops. I want to call them shorts, but they're just long underwear. It's more like a sorority girl's outerwear, if anything.
So you're saying you want to incorporate maybe a hat into the uniform, right?
No, Skip, sir, I didn't mean to get off topic. Did you have something that you wanted to talk?
Yeah, before I begin, let me ask you gals how you like the new shorts. They're witty, right?
Yeah, it's cute and all.
Cute? Cute? What? Hey guys, just in case you weren't looking at our asses already, let's go ahead and print some words on there to give you a reason.
Yeah, it's cute and all. The problem is cans. You know, technically that's a word for breasts as well.
Cans is a term for the backside of a female.
I'm not saying that maybe in some circles it is, but it also means boobs. I think it's going to confuse some people.
I really don't think the people care what it says on our shorts, as long as it's an excuse for them to look. We can have the date printed for all they care.
No, but like jugs works because it plays on a couple things, like beer jugs and boobs. Cans is just bizarre. Like, who thought that up? Is it permanent, Skip?
Excuse me. Are you in school right now?
Not now, no.
Well, have you ever studied marketing?
No.
Well, I majored in marketing at Stanford, and Jugs scooped me up right out of school. So maybe, how about a little respect?
Look, we're not trying to start any waves, sir. You had something that you wanted to talk to us about, right?
Yeah. It actually plays into you wanting to wear better uniforms.
Please tell me you're going to allow us to wear a bikini top.
What?
Well, you're on the right track. How would you gals like to represent this location in the new Jugs calendar?
That's extra money, right?
Well, there is a profit mark from the calendars that you're entitled to.
So not up front. The answer's basically no.
Not exactly.
Valerie? My name's Valerie.
Valerie, right, whatever. Listen, it all comes from the profit margin, okay? It's split up between those people who pose and then you guys get a portion of the profits.
So no.
Look, our calendars are quite popular. And you guys aren't showing me the usual enthusiasm for the opportunity. These things are great sellers.
Yeah, in March. Everybody buys the damn things in March when they're down to like $1 per.
Yeah.
We'll be a bunch of girls splitting 24 cents.
Look, I think you guys should think about this, all right? It's all about what you bring to the brand. And besides, they have fun articles like a playmate.
Wait. I'm sorry. I thought we were a family restaurant.
We are a family restaurant. I'm not saying there'd be a pictorial or anything. Yeah.
Aaron. It's Aaron.
Aaron, right. Listen, I didn't mean this gonna be like a dream guy. Oh, wait, there is a dream guy part. There's just no nudity. You guys look great. I'm just trying to get you guys, you gals, some opportunity here, okay? So if you wanna be involved, let me know by the end of the week.
Wow, I cannot believe what life is like here. I could be worrying about a fax machine or TPS reports or something
I
right
mean,
now.
if we were getting a straight paycheck, I'd be down for a spread in a book or a magazine or calendar or something.
By spread, you mean like just posing, right? Like in a bikini?
Yeah, or topless, nude, tasteful, whatever. You have no idea. With the Jugs label, we get a heck of a lot more attention on the item trying to be sold. Plus, I have the RLAF factor.
I can't even believe you right now. Are you kidding me? You're like a skanky version of that dweeb that just left. Jugs label. Oh, and while I'm on the topic, the fucking guy wants us to be centerfolds and he can't even remember our names.
We didn't have our name tags on. We're not people, we're mascots. Look up how much mascots make in professional sports, then look up how much cheerleaders make. And be privileged to call yourself a mascot.
I can't. I can't.
There you have it. So, again, fully encourage anybody to go ahead, film yourself reacting to it, film yourself shredding it for 45 minutes, run amok. There's no context to it. It's only fair. So, for context, that was a piece of a film that I was shooting years ago that production fell apart, and there was just these pieces. There are camera angles that are missing from that shot. The camera of the shot of the boss, the guy in the beginning, is blurry. There's stuff that I don't have access to the things that fix that. The woman against woman judgment too. Yeah. And so to kind of talk about where it, so the story essentially is about the girl on the right. So again, there's lots missing. There's audio work that is choppy. There's coverage issues because there's angles that I don't have access to due to the shoddy production, and things literally fell apart as far as crew and all that stuff was concerned. I just finally said I can't do this anymore. But it was a comedy about a young lady who worked at a Hooters-esque restaurant, but struggled with the expectation, the things that came with the job, the success in an industry where sex sells, and she had some things to process, and she wasn't really understanding that. And in case you couldn't figure out, the the female to the left was, gung ho about it, and we originally planned this to be a web series, and the development for the girl on the left was going to be that she's so enamored with and okay with making money in exchange for her attractiveness. She ended up being a cam girl in later iterations and episodes. It was supposed to be like a short series, and it was kind of moved around to be a short itself, and then it just kind of got abandoned altogether. Yeah, so there's that. By all means, share it with anybody that likes to critique stuff. I mean, shit, share it with some feminists, because this is 2013, written by a man, directed by a man, trying to speak to things. I mean, there's some stuff that was in that script that really fits today. And that part frustrates me. I actually liked the chemistry between my two lead actresses, but one has since had children, and so the continuity would be interesting, to say the absolute very least. But yeah, it's an abandoned project that I never got to finish, that I have like pieces of, and they're just like, just imagine having a puzzle box with some of the pieces. Now I'm sad this didn't go through, and it doesn't have anything to do with you. It just looked great. Good. I appreciate that. But again, there's nothing I can do one way or another. No matter what your input is, no matter what your notes are, there's nothing I can do about this. This is 7 years old now. This is footage that's 7 years old that even if I wanted to have the exact same setup, there's no way that we could continue this story. It would have to be redone or something like that. And I don't know. So to be honest, I didn't like the way things were going. I didn't think the production fit what I was looking for, and I walked away. There was a dispute between the cast as to whether or not we should keep going, and we kept getting our lead actor kept switching for a bunch of reasons, because the budget was an issue. The quote unquote producer was supposed to be providing crew and a budget for things, and well, I don't know what I can legally say. It just, things fell through, and we were left in need of a lot more help than we had, and I just walked away. 2021 rebooted. I mean, if there ever was a time for that story, I feel like ever since Me Too, it's just like, wow, that I was a little ahead of the curve. But I think people would just murder me for even trying to tell that story at this point, because written by a man, directed by a man, discussing and having jest with the struggles of certain females. There's stuff to it that I mean, obviously I had something that I liked about it. I wrote it. Hashtag Me Too. Yeah. There's stuff to it that I enjoyed, and there's pieces. There's actors that you haven't even seen from that project. I think what I ended up trying to do was put together as much as possible, and I still I still couldn't piece together a story that made sense. And I further, I've never gone any further. I have pieces where I can probably put something together and say, all right, here's a 12-minute whatever. But I don't want to do that for anybody's sake, for my sake, for somebody who is watching's sake. That's not fair. It's not fair that I put together something that isn't complete and expect you to enjoy it, especially knowing that it's not complete. So I don't know how else to put this. Failure and trials and tribulations. I prefer that they teach. I don't look at hurdles and situations to deal with and adversity. I don't look at that as man, this is bullshit. Everything's ruined. Well, as far as creativity is concerned, as far as something that I'm doing creatively, I can take negative and step back and say, okay, what's happening here? What did I do wrong? Is it fixable? Can I fix it? Is it abandonable? And that's essentially what I did with this project. I stepped away because I knew I wouldn't be happy. And a lot of it's like this is kind of unfair too. A lot of the stuff in that script was based in years of my stand-up set. So there's things in there that I knew were funny from like a decade of telling those jokes on the road, and just kind of adapting some of those jokes to situations. So that, I mean, even at that point, I had a little bit of an advantage against somebody who's just, writing a film for the first time and going ahead with it. Don't want to backtrack, but honestly, most of the backlash you got is gossip, hearsay, and didn't even watch your reaction video. I don't dispute that, Gamer Cannibal Corpse, but I do want to be fair. And I would like something for people to judge if God forbid they think I'm being a little high horsey. So if that 6+ minutes of footage wasn't enough, I'm looking for old stand-up stuff. There's old stand-up stuff on my YouTube page. Feel free to watch one of my YouTube videos and just sit there stone-faced and not laughing through it. That's I was under the impression that once you put it out on the internet, you got to take the good with the bad, while in a best possible case scenario, the world falls in love with it and 5 million people watch it and share it, and then it's a fucking animated GIF on whatever. I get known as the whatever guy, but the other side is you got to deal with the fact that people may not like it, and it may be shit. And I feel like that portion of the gamble is getting lost on folks, especially people who in film communities who have the nerve to review and critique films, and feel like they are deserved a force field around their stuff. I don't agree with that at all. If anything, you have more experience with film, and you should know from all the things you've watched what to fix, where to capitalize on other films' mistakes. And I don't think a lack of budget is an excuse. A lack of budget is one thing, but shooting something for 5 minutes that you really care about and saying, wow, look at this, that leads to something. My stand-up career, I did something that a lot of people always tell me, oh, I really wish I can do that. That's something that I did, succeeded enough to get paid for it, and had it as a regular gig for quite a while. This is a thing that people, stay up at night wondering, oh, what if? Not only did I what if, but I made something of it. I really feel like the work and again the adversity that comes with stuff like this is really getting lost and taken for granted. I mean, sure, I can just listen to people saying that everything's good, or I can listen to some criticisms and gripes and do something about it. George Lucas didn't have anybody that said no to him for the prequels. And I don't know. Doesn't it kind of make you wish somewhere that somebody just pulled George aside and said, just a little less of this? Can we do something different? The director didn't have a problem, right? I cannot confirm that. I know art can be your baby, but you have to grow somehow. Right. I agree. And again, go ahead and take my clip out of context, run amok. I'm ready. It's not perfect. I know that. But I guess I don't want to say mature. I have experience. I have experience in this. Again, 20 plus years doing stand-up. I don't have 20 plus years of filmmaking. Less than 10. But I appreciate the compliments. I don't give them as much weight as the criticisms, to be honest with you. If I say something to 10 people and 9 of them say that it's great, I literally don't process that, because first of all, because of the way things are now, people will tell you that was great for, just as that being support, and that's dangerous. It's dangerous. It's unfair to everybody involved. Well, the thing that I care about is the one. What didn't the one like? How can I fix whatever I did, and maybe turn that 9 into a 10? And that's what creativity is. You find out what the one didn't like, and you do it again. You show it to 10 people again. Now you have 7, and you're like, okay, well, I tried fixing the thing that the one didn't like, and now the one did like it, but now 3 others from the 9 now don't like it, and then you keep going, and at some point you have this hybrid. This you show that same 10 times. You've had 10 versions of something, and by the end you could have 6 out of 10 that enjoy the product. And is 9 out of 10 better? Yes. Is it sincere? Doubtful. But 6 out of 10 on something is quite impressive, especially if you've worked for it. If you've went back and tinkered and gone back and tinkered, and you have 60% of your audience that appreciates something, that's pretty good. I think 60% is it 60 or 65? I forgot what Rotten Tomatoes is, what their fresh bottom tier is. I want to say it's 60. Might be 65. Excuse me. But and that's the other thing. People on YouTube want to be accredited on Rotten Tomatoes. Well, on Rotten Tomatoes they give negative scores. I don't know. Rotten Tomatoes exists because people need to know if things are good or not. And again, if people are doing things for fun, then 1,000,000% I apologize. That's not fair for anybody to judge somebody's hobby. There's only so much catering you can do, though. Feedback is very important, but your own instinct and vision should be important too. Right. 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 I don't know how else to. Right. I'm an alien now. Right. The bonus situation. Yeah. I would argue against me saying that something shit. That all right. That's one person. All right. If I hated it and had everything to nitpick for it, all right, cool. People hate Jurassic World. I really enjoyed that movie. Just because it's the norm to like something doesn't mean that you might be different. Things. Find your audience. There's just effort that should be taken in, and it should count and it should matter. I guess is all I'm trying to say. Never in the world would I think to try to hold somebody back from doing something and knock them down to the point where they don't. I will never be phony about how I feel about something, though. And I've said this to anybody that I've critiqued something, small filmmaker, large filmmaker, anybody who's listened to me. I've had filmmakers from the Friday the 13th fan film community where I was harsh, and they said I had a group that made one film, and they approached me. They said, thanks. We have something else if you'd like to see it coming up. And I said, yeah. They took what I said and just said, all right, well, that wasn't for you. What about this? And by the second point or the third point, if whatever I said meant something to them and they valued that, or it held weight to them, they would let it work its way into their process. I just know the rules of certain things. I don't like the fan film, but hope he makes 10 more. Live your dream. Absolutely. And again, like that's something I cannot stress enough. I'm somebody who does something where people say, man, I wish I did that. Yeah, I did and ended up getting paid for it. It takes work. You can't just show up and say, I'm listen, there's some people that are that talented where they just show up and, holy fuck, things happen. But everything takes work. Everybody gets lucky, but everything, for the most part, for 90% of the world, things take work. And I apologize to anybody I have offended, but I'm just trying to help the work process. That's all. I look forward. I really hope somebody does take me up on this. I mean, I would hope 3 or 4 people take me up on this and watch the video, not the whole thing, and go ahead and watch the video out of context without any knowledge of what the situation behind that clip was, and be honest. Shit on it. Sit there. Don't laugh. Laugh at things that don't seem to be intended to laugh. I'd love to hear people's response. It's the fact that I would get eyes on something that was doomed to a hard drive. It's a lot better than the current state it was in, than just sitting on my hard drive. At least if 5 people give me a reaction and 4 hate it, at least I could be like, all right, well, see, you made the right decision. Or if the other way around, 4 people end up liking it or whatever. And I still have that one who doesn't. I can listen to that information and see if, all right, for future reference, is there something here? Can I do something else? The creative people should know that it's not, critique is not about making yourself look good or holding anybody else down. It's trying to help somebody on their journey. So yeah, this will be on YouTube shortly. I don't know why YouTube's kind of holding me down, but I think we're going to be doing some gaming later, just for the sake of. I need some really good video game people to shoot me in the head, I think. And I think people would like that too. You can come back and watch that later. So for that, again, hit me up, send me something on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or YouTube, or send me a link and say, hey, here it is, fuckface. I'm reacting to your shit, and I'll watch it. And I appreciate somebody taking the time to watch something that I created. Play Fortnite, you fuck. I don't have Fortnite. It's not free. Daddy's in some weird financial situation, so Fortnite is not. It's not in the cards. Yeah, so it is free. Free? All right. Well, maybe I'll try it. I don't know. Last thing I need is to fall into that fucking snake pit. All right. So until next time, I really hope somebody does critique the balls off of it, and it'll be fun. Like I said, it was on my hard drive. If one person watches it, that's more than I had previously. When you create something and somebody at least wants to look at it, that should be the accomplishment. If you set to create something and complete it, that is the accomplishment. People make fun of things like Tommy Wiseau. Guy's made a movie, start to finish, and he's kind of pivoted and embraced whatever status he has now, and guy's still selling out theaters fucking 16 years after the thing came out. So I don't know. Free as much as Call of Duty. Oh, all right. If you want to have a bunch of 12-year-olds scream at you, Fortnite is a place. I can't comment on that assumption. All right, so we'll if you're here on Twitch, we'll see you later. If you're on YouTube, again, send a link, and thank you if you do take the time.